What's up, everybody? This is Brian.
I'm Logan.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's Top. Sorry. I never know if I'm supposed to say it before or after. Wow. Sorry, bud. Wow. And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. How you doing? It's 7 in the morning.
Happy Friday, y'all. Before we get into this profile, just go grab yourself a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
We're waking up. Wake
I
up
have
with
this
us.
adorable little alpaca mug. Oh,
It's not even in frame.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not in frame. You're right, Tops.
Well, yeah.
I tried.
Go grab yourself some coffee, grab yourself a snack. We are in for a very expensive profile today. As a zombie player, you guys probably know that my favorite way to play the deck is combo. I'm not a huge control fan because the ceiling is just not that high. Like, just one interruption stops the entire deck. It's not that strong. However, this is a zombie deck that came out. Everyone has been talking about this. If you guys haven't seen any of our previous pack openings over the last couple weeks, we have been opening Secret Slayers like madmen, and we are finally able to pull every single thing that we need for this deck whilst also acquiring everything else that we need. This is a very expensive deck, so just a heads up, this is not a budget profile for anyone out there who is on a budget. This unfortunately probably just isn't the deck for you.
Right now, with the deck that just came out, this boy's sitting at a hefty price, so unfortunately this is not super budget, but perhaps over time maybe. But right now, you know, at this point it's so expensive, we're just going ham with it, so go hard or go home. And for those of you wondering why this is going up a little later than our usual 4 a.m. time, we shot this last night and we just were not happy with the way it looked at all. It looked really crummy. The lighting was garbage. It wasn't great. And we didn't want to put out a video that just didn't look as good as we wanted it to, because we have expectations for ourselves and we have expectations to put out good content for you guys. So here we are at nearly 7 in the morning reshooting for you guys, because that's how much we care. So thanks.
And speaking of caring, we would like to ask you guys, take 10 seconds to just go down and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Throw this video a like, comment down below what you think of this deck and how you think this deck is going to impact the metagame. And also, while you're down there, check out the links in the description box below. We have our link to our Instagram, which is @CrushCardsYGO.
We're on there all the time. We post stories of what we're doing. We post photos of what we're going to be putting up, all that jazz. We also just recently started a Discord, which I would argue we are on more than anything. We're having a lot of fun with it over the last couple weeks. It is a really fun little community we're building there. So if you just want to make some new friends, talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, talk about life, talk about anything, feel free to come on over to the Discord. It's a lot of fun. And then we also have a Patreon that we just started in the last month with, I would argue, some of the best Patreon benefits in the Yu-Gi-Oh community. We have deck building, dueling sessions, field centers, merch, Discord benefits, you name it, we probably have it. And the new month is starting next week. So if you want to get those benefits ASAP, I would recommend taking a look and signing up before next week. It's really great and it helps support the channel and help us grow.
Bet you can't beat me.
You're right, Tops. No one can beat you, you shining star. But all right, that's our spiel for all that. Links are in the description box down below. Love you guys.
So as a combo player, I'm very hesitant to control decks, but having pulled all these cards, having them be zombies, and also having this probably be now a tier 1 deck, this is just something that we had to get our hands dirty with, and we wanted to show off this profile. We've been working real hard on it. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the card by card.
Woo!
Start off, we are controversially only playing 2 Eldlich the Golden Lord. A lot of people play 3, which is totally fine. You can play 3 if you want. Just a lot of people are like, oh, you play 2 because you have to. No, we have 3. You only need 2 in my personal opinion. You play so many ways to actually access this guy. You have so many spells and traps to get him out. He recurs himself, so let's talk about his effects. So his first effect is you can send this card and 1 spell trap in your hand to the graveyard, and then target 1 card on the field and send it to the grave. So this is really good to go second because it helps you break boards, sends cards, and does not destroy them. And then the really good effect is that if this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 spell trap card you control to the graveyard, add this card to your hand, and then special summon 1 zombie from your hand, which is really cool because this doesn't specify which zombie monster it is. So typically what you're going to do with this effect is you're going to add him to your hand and then just special summon himself. And then when you do that, until the end of your opponent's turn, it gains 1,000 attack and defense and cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's also like a built-in protection.
Beefy boy.
Once again, we play him at 2, but if you build this deck, feel free to play this card at whatever number you like. A lot of people choose 3, a lot of people are choosing 2. I found in testing that 2 is just fine.
I'm gonna play him at 7 because that's how Yu-Gi-Oh's played.
Whoa. Next up, for the best extender in the deck, we are playing triple copies of Magician Souls once again. Very budget-friendly deck right now.
Oh, yeah.
This card is so good because it has the sending effect of a level 6 or higher spellcaster monster from your deck to your graveyard just to summon. That is cost, so you can't even stop it. So not only does it deck thin, but this card also has a really relevant effect where you can send up to 2 spell trap cards from your hand or field field to the graveyard and then draw that many number of cards. So for any of you guys who don't know how this deck works, all of the Eldlich spells and trap, the spells banish to search a trap directly from your deck to your side of the field, and then the traps vanish during the end phase of either player's turn to set one of the spells directly from your deck to your side of the field. So this is really good because it helps you pop cards that you don't need or get cards out of your hand that you might have already drawn multiples of and then get further resources. So Magician Souls at 3 is really, really strong. And of course, for our Magician Souls target, we are playing triple copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician. I know a lot of people are looking at this like, wait a minute, this makes absolutely no sense. No, it actually does. Magician Souls has to send a level 6 or higher spellcaster, and not only is this that spellcaster, but this allows you to discard any card to special summon this card. So not only is it a free body, but if you happen to draw your Eldlich, you don't want to go -1 off of its own effect to send himself and a spell trap to the graveyard. So this just allows you to get Eldlich into the graveyard or additional copies of spells and traps into your graveyard so that you can banish them and set up for your first turn or just mid to late game. Not a huge fan of hand traps, but the only cards that I do believe are really good in today's metagame are DD Crow. So many decks right now are relying on their graveyard and getting resources in and out of their graveyard, and DD Crow can just stop that right then and there. This deck has a built-in DD Crow, which is why we're only playing this at 2. We don't want to see multiples of it opening hand, but we do want to see it when we need it. So double DD Crow for our hand trap lineup. Off to our spells. We are playing triple pot of Extravagance. Definitely, once again, super duper budget friendly.
Pot of expensive.
This deck does not really need its extra deck whatsoever. It's all just utility. So banishing 6 cards face down to draw 2, sometimes that can just plus you so much to the point where you win this game. This deck already has an incredible resource management. So drawing 2 additional cards and having card advantage never hurts to win.
I also just find it really interesting, and I said this last night after we filmed the first one. I think it's really cool that Pot of Extravagance almost looks in archetype for this deck, and
it really does.
I don't know if Konami plans this far ahead. They probably do. That would make sense. But like looking at Pot of Extravagance and obviously the Extravagance side of the pot, it literally matches Eldlich. I was doing the thumbnail last night and I was like, man, even like the gems on its face like match up with the gems that are on Eldlich.
Look at that. He's got a fork and a spoon. I never knew that.
Hungry.
We're hungry too for 2 cards.
But I just thought it was really interesting. I think that's really cool how they kind of go together and like this whole El Dorado, like riches and ancient nonsense.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
I think it's really neat. I think that's fun.
Moving on, we play triple copies of Cursed Eldland. This is basically your generic search card. So what this card says is that you can pay 800 life points and then add 1 Eldlich monster or Golden Land spell trap directly from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 Eldlich monster or Golden Land spell trap directly from your deck to the graveyard. So once again, fills your hand or fills your graveyard with resources just so you continually go through that resource pool. The only stipulation with this is that when this is face up on the field, you can only attack with zombie monsters. But once again, your extra deck is kind of irrelevant, and Eldlich is the only monster you play in this deck that actually is summonable and like worthy of attacking with. So this doesn't really hurt you at all. And then we play probably the best spell in the entire deck, which is triple Elixir of Black Awakening. So these are the Elixir lineups now. So we're going to start with the Elixirs, and then we will get into the Golden Lands. But what Elixir of Black Awakening says is you can special summon 1 zombie monster from your hand or deck in defense position, but if you don't control Eldlich, you basically just special summon Eldlich. That's what this card says. It says special summon Eldlich. And then for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except zombie monsters. So once again, kind of shuts you out of your extra deck a lot, but this is a control deck. You're not trying to combo off and kill your opponent with your extra deck. And then you can also banish this card from your graveyard to set 1 Golden Land spell trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. The only stipulation, which I guess makes this deck kind of fair, is that you can only use 1 of those effects per turn. So you can activate this card, special summon your Eldlich, and then on your next turn, you can banish this to set a spell trap. So it's fair. It makes sense. It'd be so much more broken if you could do both effects, but I think that would be a little too unfair. We play the 1 Elixir of White Destiny. This is basically just your 4th copy of Black Awakening, and this card says that you can special summon 1 zombie monster from your hand or graveyard as opposed to your hand or deck. So that's why we only play this card at 1, because it's kind of Monster Reborn, but it also allows you to get Eldlich out of your hand, and then during your main phase, same thing, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then set 1 Golden Land spell trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. You can only use 1 of each of these effects, so activate this in your opponent's turn because it is a quick play, and then on your turn in your main phase, you can just set a spell and trap. Moving off to our traps, Starting off with the best trap, we have Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine. Once again, just a 7th copy of Black Awakening. It's just the trap version. Special summon one zombie monster from your deck or graveyard, but if you don't control Eldlich, you special summon Eldlich. You only play Eldlich, so that's all that matters. This card is like, once again, are you guys starting to see like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versions of Eldlich? Like you have a quarter of your deck, it just gets you Eldlich. So you don't need to play it at 3. You can if you want, but these cards are so much more impactful mid to late game. You also don't want to brick on Eldlich, so having cards like this instead, maxing out on these, while they also have their secondary effects, which this one, being an Elixir, allows you to banish it to set a golden land spell and trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. We play triple Conquistador of the Golden Land, so now we're getting into our Golden Land traps. So all of the Golden Land traps have the same effects as the spells, but the Golden Lands will banish during the end phase to search an Elixir directly from your deck to your side of the field. Also good to note that the majority of these, when they activate, they summon themselves as normal monsters, and then if you control Eldlich, they have an additional effect. So Conquistador says that you can special summon this card as a normal monster, then if you control Eldlich the Golden Lord, you can destroy one face-up card on the field. This is non-targeting removal. It does destroy, be a little bit better if it's sent, but that's okay. We need that power creep a little bit. I totally understand. So not targeting and just destroying a face-up card on the field and being a trap so you can chain it to any activation. This is probably the best trap monster in the deck. And then we play
triple of the card that Brian can't pronounce and that I'm also probably gonna butcher anyway, but Brian can't say this word. He thinks there's an N in there. I don't know. We'll talk about his spelling later, but we're gonna call it Quaquero of the Golden Land.
This is your built-in DD Crow that I was talking about. So once you activate this, you special summon it as a normal monster, and then if you control Eldlich, which you always do, banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. So this is like a built-in Call by the Grave, a built-in DD Crow. It doesn't negate the effect, but it just gets rid of it. When your opponent goes to special summon something out of the grave, you just chain this and then banish that card. So it gives you a free body and also stuns your opponent out. And it's good to know I didn't mention it in the last one, but for Quaquero and for Conquistador, when they special summon themselves, they are level 5 light zombie monsters. Then for the last one, we play triple Guardian of the Golden Land. A lot of people are not maxing out on this, which again, totally fine. I was playing around with it at 2, but I did find that I wanted to have an additional Golden Land name in my graveyard to banish and search other Elixir cards. So that's the only reason I played this at 3. But what this does is you can special summon it as a trap monster, and if you control Eldlich, you can make the attack of one face-up monster 0. So that's really good in the damage step. You can just completely obliterate your opponent when they go to attack into your cards that they think that they have enough damage to beat over. You can just flip this and then make their attack 0. They lost their monster and they took a bunch of damage, and now you're ahead. So card is really, really strong. And same thing, banishes during the end phase to search an Elixir card directly from your deck to your side of the field. Then we play double copies of Golden Land Forever. This is our zombie counter trap. So what this says is when a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated, so it's basically Judgment, while you control Eldlich, tribute one zombie monster and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. So what's really cool is you can activate your zombie trap monsters, and then not only did you get these effects off, now you have a zombie monster on board, so you can activate this, keeping your Eldlich safe just to tribute these off, and then you can negate the activation of any of your opponent's cards too. And it has the name Golden Land in it, so you can kind of search this card. So really strong. Speaking of counter traps, you're playing double Judgment because you can always afford to pay half your life points, and stopping anything that your opponent does is really, really powerful. Once again, this deck is a back row deck. It is a control deck, and it always has card advantage. However, if your opponent has Lightning Storm, you lose. So you want to have double Judgment. The only reason I don't play it at 3 is because I found that I was literally opening 2 all the time.
When we did test hands last night, he literally was opening
awful.
2 or 3 Judgment.
So playing 4 counter traps, 2 of them being Judgment, 2 of them being in archetype, I found it to be just the perfect number. You see it when you need it, but you don't brick on it. So double Judgment. And that's something that not a lot of people are doing, but this deck loves to go first. However, it doesn't do super incredible going second. So I'm main decking 3 evenly matched. And the only reason that this card is not a brick, even if you go first, is because you can just pop it off of Eldlich, you can pop it off of Magician Souls, you can discard it off of Apprentice. Like, this is literally just fodder if you don't need it. Or if you really feel like you don't have the best opening hand, you can set it, wait for your opponent to enter the battle phase, and then flip this at the end. If you're down, this can help to get you ahead. Or once again, going second, this is just a blowout. So we made that 3 evenly matched because it's fodder and an incredible card going second.
That's true. I didn't think about how you can just pop it and get rid of it like 8 different ways.
It's insane with this deck. And then the 40th card in the deck, it's a control deck. You gotta play Skill Drain. You gotta play the Lost Art Skill Drain, but there it is. I mean, this is Caveman Yu-Gi-Oh! Here you go. You lose. And then on to our extra deck. We are playing triple copies of Constellar Pleiades. For all you who don't know what this card does, because I didn't, because we are still brand new to the game, I had no idea this card existed. But this says that it is, well, first off, it's 2 level 5 light monsters, so any of your zombie traps minus Guardian. Once returned during either player's turn, you can detach one material from this card, the target one face-up card on the field, return that target to the hand. This doesn't even have to be a monster. So this is just generic spot removal, and then once again, detaching your trap cards to get them in grave so that you can activate them during the end phase is really strong with spot removal on top of it. So definitely play Constellar Pleiades at 3.
It's like Compulse, but better.
Yeah, and it's Extravagance board, so you just play 3 of them. Then, because Guardian is a level 8, we are choosing to play triple Dingirsun. Your Guardian is a level 8 that sends and offers you protection, and you just play 3 because of Extravagance. Under our level 10 train package, we play triple Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gust Off Max. This is a 3k body, helps you beat over some things that you wouldn't normally be able to beat over, and then 2 of your Eldlich cards, you can just detach one, get one engraved, and then burn your opponent for 2k. So this card is also really powerful. Onto our links. Our traps, sometimes we just want them off field and into the graveyard, so double Link Spider. Magician Souls, sometimes we just want to have battle protection and get Magician Souls off the field. And then we play double Vampire Sucker for the same exact reason that we played Link Spider. We just want some of our traps off the field and into the graveyard so that we can continually fuel our resource pool. And that's it for our extra deck. Pretty basic, pretty simple. Let's get into a test hand.
So in case you guys haven't noticed our awesome zombie manga mat, we get them made by Pow Manga Mats. They do an incredible job. They do all sorts of custom mats. They do color, they do whatever you want, and they're absolutely amazing. And they just hit 1,000 likes on Facebook, and to celebrate their success, they are doing a giveaway. We wanted to let you guys know about it so you could participate and get a free mat of your own. They are also doing a sale until Sunday of this weekend where you can get 15% off any mat. So you might as well take advantage of all this and go enter the giveaway and get a cool mat for yourself. Just wanted to let you guys know, it's pretty neat.
So we are going to do a little test hand real quick. It's kind of hard because all the deck profiles that we do showcase like a combo or like tutorials, but this is a control deck, so this really functions on interacting with your opponent. So we'll just show the ceiling and what an opening can look like. 2 couple one of these, and then our opponent shall cut for us.
Oh, awesome! Here I am. Sorry, I'm yawning. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's not early or anything. Oh, we'll see a free summon. Ooh, an Extrav. An Apprentice, a Counter Trap, and a Search card. All right, this isn't bad. We are going to start off clearly with our Extrav. There it goes. Here's just shuffle a little bit.
Cool.
Top 6 okay, opponent?
I mean, yeah, sure.
Cool. Awesome. Does it matter? Absolutely not. We don't even look. Draw 2. Wow. Sick. So now we are going to activate our Cursed Eldland. Pay 800. We'll search. Oh, here, we'll move these over. We'll search a Conquistador. And now we're going to activate the Apprentice in hand to special summon it by discarding our Eldlich. And then we can literally just set 4.
Woo!
Set 4 pass. No, just kidding. So we're going to activate Eldlich in our graveyard now. It's going to send this to the grave, which will then add it back to hand, and he will special summon himself. So on that, we can banish this and set our in-archetype DD Crow. So how this works now is basically we have a free summon, we have a counter trap, we have a DD Crow, and we have a free pop on our opponent's turn. So the way that I would go about this is I would activate one of these 2 first, so that they would become a monster, and then as I said before in the profile, you would activate their counter trap when they activate something threatening to tribute this off and then get rid of it. You still have a free summon, and then you also have a free body with this and a free pop. Plus on your next turn, you can search off of Eldland. Like, this deck is just so insane. The resource management that it has is unreal. And of course, not to mention, Eldlich was specialed off of his own effect, therefore he's up 1,000 attack and defense and cannot be destroyed by card effects.
Wow, that's crazy. I would argue that's bananas. Yeah. It's crazy that it has such a strong counter trap. Like, that's literally a judgment. It's like, no, nope.
And like on first read too, I was like, oh wow, this is like, it's a tribute zombie monster. That sucks. But then I was like, wait, all of these are zombie monsters. So like, it's cool. So that does it for our deck profile. We know that this is not your typical zombie deck. We also know that this is not a budget deck. However, this deck is super, super fun. It's a really, really great control deck. The fact that it's zombies just makes it all the more interesting for me personally.
It's also just a really pretty deck because it's all hollows. It's all secrets.
Yeah, they're all secrets and
supers. It's really pretty. It's secretly super. But we hope you guys enjoyed the profile and the test hand. Be sure to check out all the links in the description box down below. We've grown to love this deck as we've looked at it and played it. There are a lot of different variations that exist of it, and we will have another variation up in the next week or so. We want to play with this deck. It's really exciting.
And it may not even be on our channel. It may be on someone else's.
Ooh, spooky. Wow. So keep an eye out. We're going to play with this. We're going to have some fun. This is just our first profile. We've done a bit. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, links in the description. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday.
And make sure you guys check out our Secret Slayers opening previously on the channel. And speaking of Secret Slayers, we also have an Adamantipator deck profile coming real soon, probably next week. We just got to make sure all the combos and all the ratios are perfect.
And I have to learn it. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope this is fun for you. All right, Tops, do you want to say bye, bud? Bye, friends. But we love you. You matter. You're great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This was your perfect day. Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. Mwah.